So a client reached out wondering if I could do alterations on her daughter's prom dress. It was a very last minute request. She said her daughter had been invited last minute and she decided to go. They already had a dress, but it needed a few alterations. Now, before you come for me, come for my neck saying you're always doing last minute alterations. It really depends on what I have going on, what my workload is, and of course, there's always going to be a rush fee. So I was like, okay, I do have a bit of time, even though it was in the thick of prom season. I was like, come in, let's see what's going on. So this is her in her prom dress, and you can see that it's super long in the front. We did a walk test, and of course, the dress was folding in as she walked, and of course, she didn't want to trip. And so I was going to shorten that. Super simple. I love the simplicity of this dress. It had the corset lace-up ties in the back. Worked out great because she could take it in, let it out, and she had the split. So this is the dress on the mannequin, and usually when I'm shortening the length, especially with like dresses that have satin finish or softer fabrics, I will take a measurement from the waist to where you want your hemline to fit, just because this fabric tends to shift around the longer it hangs. So this is what I'm doing. The measurement that I took, taking it from the waist to where she wanted it to fall, I marked that out. I usually add an inch to that measurement and then cut out. So it's whatever measurement I measured to the floor plus an inch. The inch is kind of like a seam allowance or my fold allowance. After I do that, I take about ½ an inch, fold that in, and this is the way, fold that in and pin it down. That's what I'm showing here. And then I lightly press. Be sure that you're careful of the settings. Test out the heat settings to make sure that you don't burn the fabric. Also, after I pressed that out, I took ½ an inch, folded that in, and then folded another ½ an inch, kind of just to close the hemline. I didn't want to serge this, but this is my version of a rolled hem. It really isn't a rolled hem. And the gurus will say, yeah, you need to do a rolled hem. This is how I do it. This is what has worked for me. I haven't really successfully done a rolled hem, so this works. So after I do that, I go ahead and sew down what I had pinned previously, and that's pretty much the alteration. I go ahead after I finish sewing and just press that down again. Just be aware, be cautious of the settings, heat settings, test them out because you don't want to burn the fabric. And once that's pressed out, like I said, that's pretty much the alterations of the dress. So this is the dress after I shortened the hem. Like I said, it's a simple dress, but just so gorgeous. And you can see that length is shorter than what we originally started from. So she came in for another fitting. We did a walk test, and you can see how the dress just pushes out of the way of her feet. She loved it. This is her on prom. This is her with her prom date. Before and after, how did I do?